What's up, everybody? This is A7X Fan Ben. Today we're going to be building a two-masted blockade runner. So this is one of the original ship types, and I decided to use it for this War of 1812 mega pack. This was like a one-masted sloop that I think had a square rig topsail, but um, this one is adapted to a blockade runner for the release, so HMS Little Belt. This one's a unique story. Her ability might look weird based on the English versus American mega pack, but I think it was built by the Americans, captured by the British, and then recaptured by the Americans. So kind of an interesting story, but I wanted to have maximum ship type variety for this pack, so that's why I did the blockade runner ship type. So we're going to punch out the pieces here. This is kind of like the Dragon Wing Cutter new ship type, where there's a lot of smaller pieces on the bottom half of a card, so it's a pretty packed card overall. So, but it's pretty cool to be able to have any ship that has more than one mast to fit on one card is pretty cool overall. Pretty good use of space. So right now I'm looking for the nubs of where the laser cutter didn't cut, so that's how the pieces are held in the card. So for example, it's the front tab of a hull piece and then underneath the back at the stern. So it's best to press in those areas when you're punching out pieces for the laser cut stuff. So it doesn't matter as much for the original die cut stuff, but anyway. So HMS Little Belt, I'm going to start from the starboard quarter as usual. So got this big tab at the back of each hull piece, and then as I usually try to curve this a little bit as I'm trying to get the front part of the hull in. That didn't require too much curvature, so that was really smooth. That worked really well. And now we go to the back. There should be a little bit of like pushback when you're trying to push the tabs in. You actually want that, because if you don't have any, on a styrene model, you want it to be pretty tight so that it actually holds up and stays together. I've noticed with the 3D printing models, sometimes the plastic is so smooth, and just based on the properties of PLA versus styrene, a lot of times you can actually have connection points on 3D printed ships that don't require it to be as tight, but that's a different production method. So here we've got the flag, goes at the stern. This goes into like the slot that's not as deep at the more rectangular part of the stern here. So you could do that last, but usually I like to do it before I do this next piece, which is the mast. So there's different ways to do the artwork on this. Since this is a one-masted ship historically, I didn't include mast artwork on this jib sail. So even though it's a ship with two cannons, it's technically a one-masted ship in terms of like art, history, and things like that. So, but this way she can be a little bit more unique and also add the blockade runner ship type to the set instead of just having two sloops, one for each faction, one in each fleet. So big thing with this, the jib sail, you want to kind of start from the bottom here is usually how I do it, because you'll notice this one slides in, instead of going top in, it goes from the front. So it's a slide in slot instead of just a hole. And the issue is there, the hull pieces are essentially touching at the front. So if you try to just slide it in, you might run into some issues. You don't want to break a hull piece or anything. So usually I'll start from underneath and use this part of the jib almost as like a hook point. And then once that's in there, that kind of separates the hull pieces. And then you can just keep pushing and sliding it in from there. And this one went in a little bit tight, but overall, I think it still works out pretty well. So that's HMS Little Belt. We've got a two-masted blockade runner present at the Battle of Lake Erie. So check out the historical War of 1812 mega pack on Pirates of the Ben. I'll see you in more Pirates videos. Thanks for watching.